Could you live on $9 a day? That's what a growing number of Australians are having to do. That's according to the Salvation Army.
There will be difficult decisions, but all Australians must help us to do the heavy lifting.
The Salvos have surveyed nearly 2,500 people who've sought their assistance.
The survey found that 75% have had to cut down on basic necessities.
Support must be targeted to those most in need.
59% delayed or were unable to pay utility bills.
This budget is about our future.
While 57% went without meals.
It will not be acceptable for a few to make the major sacrifices on behalf of the rest of us.
And more than half were financially worse off than last year.
Budget repair, as I say, will require difficult decisions, including winding back some spending that people have come to take for granted.
Bruce, good morning. Nice to see you again.
Good morning.
Why?
Why is this happening? I think that we need to be looking at what's happening with our welfare system. I think we need more money in there.
Nothing is free.
And we need to be looking very seriously at this, because if people are trying to live on $9 a day, that's just not good enough. That's just not enough money. That is poverty.
Someone always pays.
New Start is a disaster.
It is about the we, not about the me.
And to think that people will have to wait a month to even get anything out of New Start, what happens during that time?
Do you want a smiley cookie?
I ask Australians not to judge this budget on what they get or on what they lose.
So what more needs to be done? Does the government need to funnel more money into the welfare system? We have this post-budget debate about cuts to welfare in various forms.
Absolutely. So we're talking about the have-a-go budget, and we're, $20,000 for small business. That's great. These guys haven't got $20 a day to live on.
There will be heavy lifting. All of us have to contribute to that heavy lifting.
It must be distressing when there are kids involved.
Absolutely. Majority of the kids that we're seeing, about 65%, are really doing without the basic bits and pieces that they need to have an education.
And this budget is part of the government's economic action strategy.
They haven't got the school books, they haven't got the uniforms, and they can't be involved in after-school activities and those types of things.
It will be a nation-building budget, even though it cuts spending.
Over 60% of kids don't have an internet connection at home.
The age of entitlement will facilitate greater personal responsibility.
Do you want a smiley cookie?
If people are trying to live on $9 a day, that's just not good enough.
And I want to emphasise that the May budget will not be the end of our efforts. It will be only the start.
That's just not enough money. That is poverty.
Do you want a smiley cookie?
We're told it'll signal the end of the age of entitlement and start a new age of responsibility, with the entire exercise underlined by a shared sacrifice by everyone to help the nation back into the black.
Do you want a smiley cookie?
Well, the figures they had was you'd already claimed up to $100,000 or more than $100,000 in allowances relating to that. Did that actually go into the mortgage?
There will be heavy lifting.
Well, Tony, I don't know. I pay rent, and if it's
you pay rent to your wife.
All of us have to contribute to that heavy lifting.
Questions raised here is whether people all over the country struggling to buy a home would find it acceptable that politicians get a taxpayer-funded subsidy for buying a house.
Well,
it is about the we, not about the me.
Well, hang on. It's not a taxpayer-funded subsidy because we actually have to rent.
One is that we haven't got enough social housing, so that most of the money that people are getting from welfare is going into where they can live. And a huge percentage, and most of the time it's about 2/3 of what they get.
So politicians that go to Canberra, they actually live in their electorates. And if they go to Canberra, they have to pay rent or they go to a hotel room, Tony. I don't know, does the ABC do that when you travel?
They do, but the hotel's not owned by my wife.
Do you want a smiley cookie?